I'm Luc, ON7DQ, and behind the camera is Jill, ONL12523. He's the programmer of all the software in our project, the OST Morse Box. If you haven't seen our introductory video, go back to the YouTube channel and watch that video first, and then come back for this one. This video will be about the software on the computer that you can run, either using a serial monitor, like in the Arduino IDE, or using a special Windows program that Jill wrote. The Windows program is not open source, but you can download it from the GitHub site. The link is below the video. You can of course use the OST Morse Box as a standalone unit, but you have little more functions using the computer program, and that's what we will show now. We will first demonstrate the serial monitor with the AT commands, and then we will show what the Windows program can do and how nice it works. Let's have a look at the Arduino IDE first. Here you can see the main program and the additional files which make out the whole project. Just a tip, if you want to have your call sign on the display at startup, you have to edit line 14 in the main source code and put your call sign in between the quotes there. Now, what we want to show is the serial monitor. Opening the serial monitor will reset the Arduino and show you the introductory message with all the parameters that have been set and read from the EEPROM. Now, if you want to send some command, let's just show a few of them. This is a list of all the commands that you can use. First, the commands that we had in the basic application, and next are the newer commands that have come with the new firmware. Of course, if you install the latest firmware, you have all these commands available. Let's see if we can change the pitch of our CW tone. Now it is set for 600 Hz. And I will change it now. So what you type is this, AT plus frequency, and an equal sign, and then let's say 800 Hz, and send this line. Note that the speed of your serial connection must be 115 kilovolts, here selectable with this drop-down menu. Otherwise it will not work. Let's see if we have 800 Hz now. Yes, that seems to work. I will put it back. If you have this line here, the top line where you type your commands, you press the up arrow, you can get back the previous command that you had and other commands that you have typed before, and simply edit the frequency, and like that you can quickly set it back to 600 Hz. Okay. Let's see if we can reverse the paddle, because I'm sitting to the right of the Morse box. I can't send left-handed with the right-handed paddle, so I will change the paddle polarity. I type the command AT plus paddle, and I will type equals reverse. Typing REV is also sufficient. You don't have to type the whole word, but anyway, let's type reverse. Now I should have dashes here and dots there. You're rather limited with the serial monitor, typing one AT command after another, so let's keep it at this and switch over to the Windows program. This is the Windows program. At startup, first you have to select the COM port where your Morse box is connected. You can find that out with the device manager under Windows. In this case we have COM8, so it's already selected, and we click on the connect button and we will connect to the Morse box. The Arduino will reset and send a message with all the parameters that he has read from the EEPROM in the Arduino. So you can see the frequency is at 600 Hz, words per minute says 19, character interval is at 6, and so on. Now, on the top here you have a menu, we will look at that in a moment. You have a status line showing the main parameters like words per minute, character interval, and so on. Here you have a blank line, this is your send line for the serial connection. Here we can type a few AT commands, I will show you a few in a moment. This is the beacon text, which we can transmit with a button, just like the button on the OST Morse box. You can, or with the switch on the box. you can do it from here. Here you have memory messages. Up to 19 messages can be sent. Most of them can be sent with a function button from the keyboard, from F2 up to F12. Why not F1? F1 is reserved for the help, which is also included in the program. And M13 to M20 you can only send here with these buttons on the screen. The lower part is the output of the serial connection, called the serial monitor, just like in the Arduino program. So you cannot read anything that the Morse box is sending to the computer. You can clear this window, if you like, with the button. You can switch on the CW decoder. As you remember, it was switched off, so now it should be switched on. It's also saying on the display of the box. We can switch on the generator. This has the same function as the button on the Morse box itself, and the frequency can be adjusted with the speed control here. There is another way to set the frequency more precisely, and that is with the AT commands we will show in a minute. The send line can be used to send any odd text that you like hello friends. You push enter and it will be sent as CW. And we can of course reset the Arduino with this button, and that's about it. The only thing we have to show now is the serial command structure and the file menu and the help menu. Let me see first if we can send a few AT commands. Let's say we want to change the frequency and we will set it to 800 Hz again. So I type at AT plus frequency is 800. I can click the send button or the serial button here, or I can just press the enter key and it will be sent. So now we are at 800 Hz. If I want to repeat that command, I press the up arrow and I change again 600 Hz, enter, and we're back at the original tone frequency. Another command that you may or may not like, I had reversed the paddle, so I will now set the paddle back to normal. You can type normal or you can type anything you like. If it's not reversed, it will go back to normal. So now I have again dashes at the right side, dots at the left side. Let's say I want to send with my left hand. I will put it in reverse. Typing REV should be enough. So I have now a reversed paddle function. And I can send left-handed if you have trained for that, of course. Hi. So what else can we do? We can put the generator on and set a frequency for the generator like any frequency that you like, any odd number. Let's do something funny and say generator is 537 Hz. That should get us exactly 537 Hz. Right? So how do we put the generator out? You can use the button and then it will switch off. You may have heard another tone. If you use the button below here, we're using the tone set by the speed potentiometer and not the one that we have sent. If you want to do it this way, you can use the command AT plus generator is 0, and this will also switch off the generators. I told you that the F1 function shows a help screen. You can maximize this screen, and as a tip, you see here introduction Windows control. You right click on introduction and say open everything. This version is in Dutch, it says alles openen, but in English that should be open everything. Then you have a complete overview of what is in this help file. We will not read all of this, but I will just point you to the last item here, which is showing you all these AT commands that we have seen before. So the help file also includes these things. You have all kinds of things about the file menu, and that's what we will show next. We will have a look at all these points, but I will close the help for now. So what can you do with the file menu? Let's say you want to give some practice text for your students over the air. At this moment I do not have a transceiver connected anymore, but that doesn't matter. Let's say I have a sample QSO and I load it from my hard disk. You will see that it has a complete, well, not a complete, part of a QSO, a CQ call, and the typical things that you will hear. You can send this complete file over the air for your students, or you can send it line per line. Let's say that I want to send just the first line as a demo. If you touch the paddle or key on the Morse box, the text transmission will be interrupted. You may have noticed that there is a lot of space between the characters. That is because the character interval has been set at a high level for training purposes. That's the so-called Farnsworth spacing. And where can you set that? Let's go to the last item here in the file menu, and I will return to the others later. That's the EEPROM settings. Here you can change anything you like put the paddle back into normal mode by unticking this paddle reverse box. You can switch off the decoder. You can select one of the iambic keying modes. If you prefer mode B over mode A, you can do that. You can alter the beacon text. Let's say I want to use the club call sign instead of my own call sign. I change this in ON4 OS/B. So this will be the beacon text. I can set the beacon delay. Here it's set on 3 seconds. That's a bit short, but you can also say 300 seconds. Anything you like, you can change here. The words per minute and the PTT delay are in a special color. Why is that? These values have no effect unless you put the potentiometers completely counterclockwise or at 0 position, then these values will be used. Otherwise, the values from the potentiometers are active. And that's about all. If you're satisfied with all your settings, you push apply, and then your settings will be written to the EEPROM and will be available at every startup when you reset the Arduino. The text that I send comes in blue. The text received from another party will be written in red. And after you have made a QSO or some practice text, you can save all this in two types of text. You can save it as a text file. Of course, then everything will be in black and white. But you can also send it in a rich text format, and then you will have the colors also in this file. And you can use it in a Word program or in another text editing. That's about it for saving the text. You can load memory keyer contents for different people, for different occasions, like for contesting, for practicing, for SOTA, for POTA, for whatever you do. And let's say I have two files here. One is for Jill's memories, which says CQ from ON4 OS. And if I load Lux memories, I will have some other text in my memories, I guess. So now it says CQ the ON7DQ. Let's say I want to send that, or I will just send the QRL question mark, that's shorter. If I had pressed the F4 function key on the keyboard, that would have the same effect. Touching the paddle or key will interrupt the transmission, of course. And you can, of course, save the memory key in editing. If you say you have changed the call sign here to our good friend ON4 AIM, normally I should be able to edit it. Let me see, like this. I have changed this to, let's say, ON4 AIM, and I want to change it, and the same here. I will delete the ON7DQ and change it for AIM. I can save these memories as ON4 AIM, and then we have a new file for memories. Okay, that's about all about this program. The program manual can also be reached via the help menu. Instead of pressing F1, you can select the program manual here, and there is an about screen with a nice CW key. So that's about all of this Windows program. We hope you like it and you enjoy the whole project of the OST Morse Box 73.